What's going on, guys? CTG Matt back. Welcome to NBA Power Rankings after the first week. Well, weekend change at this point. It is Thursday at the time of recording, a rainy Thursday. Shout out to Bobby Rainey, Bucks legend. But you know what the title of the video says. We're doing Power Rankings today. You can look at the tiers. We got top 5, 6 to 10 range, some mid, slow start, and eyesore. Don't forget to like, subscribe, simple stuff. Let's get it going. We got the Lakers up first, which I didn't think we were starting there. I don't even know how this is organized, but we're going Lakers first. The Lakers, to me, are just some mid. That's what they are. Without LeBron, it's literally Luka averaging 40 and the rest. Well, Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves of recent, when Luka went down, Austin Reeves has stepped up and gotten to the free throw line plenty, like more than I'd like to see. But he is getting to the free throw line. Austin Reeves is a professional scorer. We've known that for a few years now. Austin Reeves is a professional scorer. What else can he do? He's done a really good job playmaking as well. Played the point a little bit better, averaging like eight assists, I feel like, somewhere in the ballpark. He's been a great passer as well. If the rest of their team was anything else besides terrible, I'd feel a lot better about the Lakers. But ultimately, my opinion has not really changed from the beginning of the season. Before the season started, I said this team has holes. There's some reason to be a little bit pessimistic about this team. They've played pretty dang well, but again, there's still some holes and there's some reason to be pessimistic about them. The center play. Listen, DeAndre Ayton does some things, right? I actually think DeAndre Ayton was in like the bottom 10 for opponent field goal percentage against. I listen, I think that's fraudulent as fuck, but he does some things still. He's another facet to the offense, especially without LeBron and now without Luka. You're talking about a guy who can, knock down a jumper from the free throw line, make a post hook, something simple like that. Sometimes you just need a simple bucket. Ayton can do that eventually. Well, eventually, literally. I didn't mean to say eventually, but he eventually will get a bucket. I'm not married to this Lakers team. I don't even really like. I watched them last night. They played again really well. Again, Austin Reeves, another incredible game. But I don't know. I'm not like married to this roster. I think that there's more work to be done. I don't think this is a top, 10 team really. Obviously, look at their ranking, dumbass. But I don't think they're a top 10 team. But again, I don't think they're really that bad either. They have a bunch of good scorers, Luka when Bron's healthy, and then Austin Reeves. But after that, it's kind of like there's so much. I don't want to do that with my hands. There's so much like non-talent on this roster in some positions. I just don't like it. I mean, the Warriors they just got, I'm going to put them in the 6 to 10 range. It could be adjusted later. I think they've looked really good defensively. I mean, literally, they just held the Clippers to 79 points. It is 2025. We are 2 months away from 2026, and you just put up sub 80. What? That's how good defensively this Warriors team is, though. They can clamp up. You saw Chris Paul get his shit pinned by Brandon Podziemski. That one hurt to watch. As a big Chris Paul fan, that hurt to watch really bad. Because that just felt like, when the Monstars took their powers in Space Jam, and it was sad. If you haven't seen that clip, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to post it because I don't know if the NBA has their highlights up yet, but I'll put it up. It was not fun to watch as a Chris Paul fan. I mean, they lost one game. They survived the Aaron Gordon masterclass, like maybe best game of Aaron Gordon's career, So, like, they've shown they can get it done. The young guys have been playing relatively well. Podziemski's been pretty good. Kuminga's been good enough to justify starting, which has been a real revelation for them. So it's good to see. Weird team. DeAnthony Melton will be back in a couple of weeks, which will help them out a ton with like playmaking and second unit stuff. But all things considered, as of right now, they're a top 10 team pretty easily, and they may move up. We'll see how the rest goes. The Celtics are also some mid. This is my favorite team in basketball. I love my team. They're just mid. They're going to be like a 40-win team, right? That's just kind of what they are. They're not bad enough to be bottom 5. They're not good enough to be, a non-play-in team, a playoff team set. They're good enough. I don't think that this roster is good enough to justify Jason Tatum rushing to return, but I do think this roster is good enough to where they shouldn't bottom out and be a bottom, 5 team record-wise. Real quickly, just run down the roster. Some guys I really like. Josh Minott. I would give my life for Josh Minott. Thank you to the Timberwolves for just kind of giving him up. I'm not saying he's going to be a great player. He's not Jaden McDaniels. He's not Nikhil or one of those guys that the Timberwolves really liked last year. But he is a heart hustle player, and if he could... I love you, Josh Minott. If you're somehow watching this, I very much love you on the Celtics. That jump shot's hideous, my brother. We got to get you working on that somehow. It's going in right now. He's hitting it, which makes me happy. But the form of it is just kind of hideous. It's like Draymond Green, but like, I don't know how to describe him. More twitchy. Got like a hunchback while he shoots. I don't like it. It's going in, though. I love Josh Minott. I also love how Anthony Simons has fit into this roster and how good defensively he's been. He's really bought in. He has the second lowest opponent field goal percentage against this season. I don't know if that's like matchup. I'll have to look at matchup data, but dislikes. Luka Garza. What does he do? El Basureño is what we're calling him now. El Basureño, the garbage time king. He's atrocious at any other point in the game besides when we're up 20. I don't want to see him anymore. I hated Jared Sullinger when he was playing for us, and Luka Garza is just foreign Jared Sullinger. Also, Chris Boucher's not getting PT. Where are we going with that? I don't know. Miami Heat are mid, but fun mid. The most fun mid. That's why they're actually going to get put up top. I could put them in the 6 to 10 range. They've started off really well. I'm just not fully bid into them being like an elite team. But as for right now, dude, this is a fun team. Fast-paced, running a lot. Bam's working. You know, the young guys are really working. Jovic, Jaime's had a couple of really great games. He had a big dunk the other day, and he landed on like his head. I thought the poor guy was dead, but he got up and got back in transition. I was like, okay, all right. I don't know if you guys saw that dunk, man. He landed hard. I thought the guy was going to be out the rest of the night. Instead, he just popped back up and got back on defense. Some respect, man, but that was terrifying. Jaime's been playing well. You know, Jovic has been fine. And then they're established guys that are like have been good before, have been good again. Bam Adebayo, Norm Powell has been really good. Wiggs has been pretty decent defensively. Davion's still like there. When Tyler Hero gets back, it's going to be even more interesting because a fast-paced team playing with a guy like Hero who plays kind of more quick. It should be fun. I don't know if I could put them in the top 10 yet. Again, I'm very bashful about some of these right now. I want to see how it all formulates out before I really start throwing teams higher. I'd say the Heat are in contention to move up a row, and so are the Warriors so far. As we move on to the Bulls, who are literally undefeated, so I can't put them anywhere else. They are 4-0. They have yet to lose a game. Last night, they beat the Kings. The Kings blow. But Modest Buzelis, I tried to tell y'all 2 years ago before he was even drafted. I said I would take him number like 3 in the draft. I was like, don't let this kid fall out of the top 10. Don't let him fall out of the top 5. Modest is a fast developing player who plays very well in transition, has added strength to his bag, has added dribbling to his bag. I don't know if you saw that 1-2 move he did yesterday on, I forget who was guarding him. It might have been like Devin Carter or something, but he had a nice move and he changed hand. It was DeRozan. Because DeRozan would have blocked him if he went up with the left hand. DeRozan would have blocked him. He changed hands, went up with the right in midair. Like he changed. This kid is special in all forms of the word. I think Modest Buzelis may be an all-star in the next year, maybe this year. I'm such a huge fan. And they're playing fun. Ayo Dosunmu looks like he's added some muscle. So does Modest, in all fairness. Modest definitely added some beef. But Ayo Dosunmu looks physically stronger. The guy was a twig when he came into the league. It looks like he's got some size now. He looks like a wing. One thing I wish they did a little bit more was like, I don't know, actually. I was going to say I wish they played like better defense, but I don't know if they have the infrastructure for that. Some of the more interesting things that I've noticed is that they're running like pick and rolls. Kevin Huerter is like engaging P&Rs like he's a point guard. He threw a lob yesterday to Jalen Smith. A Jalen Smith, Kevin Huerter pick and roll resulted in an alley-oop dunk. What the hell is that? Like, yes, the Kings are sorry, but the Bulls look just sharp, and it's probably going to taper off at some point, I'd imagine. If it doesn't, hell, go all the way and do it then. But as for right now, they're literally undefeated. I can't put them much lower. They are not the best team in the top 5. But they are so far. Holy shit, the Raptors they're going in slow start, but I could justify eyesore. It's one of the most unfun teams to watch right now. There's no spacing. I think we all projected that. We all saw this roster that had R.J. Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, Scotty Barnes, and Brandon Ingram in the starting lineup and said, yep, there's no spacing there. But then you see it in practice, and they look like a team who's never practiced. Which is just wild to say for a team that had months to prepare. They look like a team that's never practiced together. They are hard to watch offensively. Defensively, they got 8 guys who are 6'9" and above, and they're still ass defensively. I don't want to shoot shots at anyone on the roster here. Brandon Ingram's had a couple of good games. RJ Barrett's been pretty darn good at times. Scotty Barnes had a great game yesterday against, I forget who they played. He had like 34. He had a great game. Emmanuel Quickley is the guy that I'm singling out and being like, what do you do? He's not a playmaker. So he's a point guard that doesn't play make on a team full of other guys that don't really play. Brandon Ingram is a great player, not a playmaker. You know, RJ Barrett's a great player, not a playmaker. IQ's the lead guard on this team, and he doesn't pass very well. He hasn't shot very well, and he's getting paid maybe the most on the roster next to Scotty. It's an eyesore. This team I could justify putting them in eyesore, but they've got a couple of wins. They aren't as bad as the actual eyesore teams, which I don't even see the Brooklyn Nets on here. Where the hell are the Brooklyn Nets? There they are. First eyesore team. That's how we set the bar for an eyesore. I can't watch more than 2 quarters of Nets basketball. Sure, they're the local team, so I can't watch them on NBA.com or whatever, but I tried. Yes Network. I love Ryan Ruocco to death. Sarah Kustok, good at her job. RJ when he's there is fun. The team sucks. Ben Seraph starting point guard. I'm not enjoying it. Michael Porter Jr. is getting shots up. It's funny as hell. Him and Cam Thomas are getting shots up for sure, but they are bad. And I think it's the same problem as the Raptors. They just don't have a true point guard yet. They're either hoping Yegor or one of them develops into a solid playmaker, a lead guard, but as for right now, they just don't have one. And it's leading to them just looking stagnant and not fun to watch. They are an eyesore. Moving to the Knicks, slow start, but they could be an eyesore as well. Again, I like Karl Anthony Towns. He's looked rough to start the season so far. I think Yabusele got hurt in their last game, or maybe their second to last game, but he looked horrific in the minutes he did play. I know Knicks fans are saying he looked like he added weight. To me, I don't see much weight gain. He's just always been fat. That's Yabusele. I watched a lot of Gershon when he was in Boston, and then obviously you saw him in the Olympics with France. He's always been a big husky guy. He's been bad. Their most run center that's not Karl Anthony Towns has been Ariel Hukporti. I like some Hukporti. Not that much, right? I think there's some things that, like, Mike Brown still hasn't figured out this offense yet. Mike Brown was a weird hiring for this team in general because this is a team that last year did not play with pace. They were a very slow half-court team. Mike Brown is not a half-court coach. You watch him with the Kings, he likes to run. He likes up fast-paced offense. That's not what this Knicks team is built for. It's not really what they do. Phoenix Suns are an eyesore. I don't watch them a ton. I know Book had a great game the other day. Actually, didn't. The last game, he wasn't great. Their halftime leading scorer was maybe, was it Mark Williams? No. It was Colin Gillespie. He had 13 points. Colin Gillespie led their team in scoring. I don't know. They're another hard team to watch. I don't know how many Suns games I'm going to be tapped into this year. I like Dillon Brooks. Mark Williams has had moments where he's looked decent this year. I saw their last game. Mark Williams did not look half bad. I just don't think this team is that good, obviously, and I don't think a Suns fan would really argue with me there. It's just hard to watch a team that has like a net maybe 3 positive players in their rotation. I saw Isaiah Livers was in their rotation, but they had another guy who was in there. It's what's his name? I think he went to Kentucky. Hold on, let me figure this out. It wasn't Kentucky, but I'm thinking of Nigel Hayes, and I'm just like, what does he provide? I don't know. I saw Ryan Dunn creating off the dribble in that last game too, and that's when I was like, all right, this is becoming too much for me. Love me some Ryan Dunn, not as a with the ball creator, right? Denver, I think this is when I bump the Warriors up, and I keep Denver lower because the Warriors obviously beat Denver. But like the Nuggets have just looked equally as impressive as the Warriors. They just lost to the Warriors, so I kind of have to respect that. The Nuggets have just looked like a machine, right? They just do. Jamal Murray has been great to start the year, which is something that you can't always say. Last season, he was horrific to start the year. This season, he's been a lot better. Sure, Cam Johnson has been in and out. I think he's hurt. I'm not sure if he's playing tonight, but you know what I'm saying. There's players coming in and out, but Bruce Brown has been moderately productive since he's gotten there. Like, it's not the Bruce Brown that you had a few years ago, but he still looks relatively solid. Their bench unit looks good. Valanciunas look good. I think it was the Suns that they blew out of the water the last night and the night before. It's just casual what they do. Like, this team, they just do it. They're a machine. When you have Nikola Jokic on your team, you just kind of know how to play your role. Cut, get open from three, set some backdoor screens, and try and help your teammates get open off the ball when Jokic has the ball, and you know he's going to find you. It's well-oiled, and I really like Adelman as their coach. I think he's finding it, and this team overall, they're a machine, and they could even justify being higher right now. Dallas is an eyesore. I don't know what their record is off top. I'd assume they have like 1 to 2 wins, ballpark. 1 second, I'll check. They have 2 wins. They're 2-3, but they're hurt. Top to bottom. AD left the last game with calf soreness after he had an Achilles issue that maybe would have kept him out of the game, but he decided to play through it. Now he's got a calf injury. Interesting. But then you go on, and it's like D'Lo at point guard. Brandon Williams had a good game the other night. I like Brandon Williams, and I think it's hard to not justify playing him because he's had really good run, but you have 40 wings. There's no reason to have that many wings, right? But Brandon Williams has looked really good in that run. I definitely don't mind their center play. I don't think they have a playmaker, and that's the biggest thing, which is even funnier because they traded one of the league's best playmakers for the guy who left last night's game. I don't know. They're running Cooper Flagg at point, and he's shown some flashes of being a good facilitator. But if you're relying on year one Cooper Flagg to be a good facilitator and your leading assist man, you're fucked. And D'Lo's just not good. He's not. So let's move off that. The Spurs look like a top 5 team as well, simply because they have a top 5 player right now in Victor Wembanyama. He's been unreal. Their guard situation, no Fox, no worries. Castle, Harper, these guys have stepped up. They've played well. Stephon Castle's really impressed me, getting downhill with ease. He's such a casual athlete where it's like he's not going to put nobody on a poster, but he's going to drive down Broadway, put a shoulder into you, and then rise up and vert dunk. Some of the signings that we thought would work have worked. Luke Cornett has looked pretty damn good as the backup center. They're the best defensive team in basketball history with Victor Wembanyama on the floor, which is just an unbelievable thing to say, just because Vic's there. But like Devin Vassell, I got to tip my hat because I was critical the last few years of Devin Vassell. And this year he's come out guns blazing. He leads their team in steals, I believe. He's been one of their best shooters as well. Devin Vassell has impressed me for a guy that I just genuinely wasn't sure about his fit going into the season. I really like what I've seen out of the Spurs team, top to bottom, really. 76ers are also going in the top 5 team. They are still unbeaten. A couple of guys I got to give my hats to. Take my cap, take a hat for. I don't think that's a phrase. But I got to tip my hat to Tyrese Maxey. He leads their team in scoring 100%, but I don't know if he leads the league or not. He's in the top 5. VJ, of course, that's the Rookie of the Year leader so far. But I like to give my flowers to other contributors that I didn't know would be feature players that have been pretty darn good. Adem Bona has been pretty darn good as the backup center. I would feel more comfortable with him playing backup 5 than Andre Drummond at this point. And I think they play pretty close to the same amount of minutes. But most of the lineups where Adem is the starting center have come back as really good units. I think it was the lineup of Maxey, VJ, Grimes, Oubre, Bona, or something like that. And it was a plus 50. Bona has just been pretty darn good for a backup 5. Considering Embiid's playing 20 minutes a night, you needed a guy who could fill in and soak up the rest of those minutes. Andre Drummond provides some stuff, but I really just like Adem. I think he's filled in really well. And of course, it's the guards that lead the scoring punch. Maxey, VJ, Grimes, they lead the scoring punch. That's just who, VJ's been a casual 20 a night. It's been fun. Even the night where he didn't score 20, he had 9 assists. Cool. So it's definitely interesting to see, but they've been playing so well. I have to kind of give them some respect as we go to the Clippers, who've been some mid. Again, similarly, I said this about the Raptors, but the Clippers look like a team that just hasn't practiced together. They look like a team that has no chemistry at times. I mean, they're 2-0 at the Intuit. I think they're 0-2 away, right? The Intuit's their stadium, I think. Hanging 80 in 2025 is embarrassing, considering their whole team was really healthy. Kawhi was there, Harden was there, Zubats was there, their guy John Collins was there, Brook Lopez was there, Chris Paul was there, their depth was there, everyone was there. I don't know, man. This team, maybe they fix it. I hope they really turn it around. But right now, they just look like a team that doesn't know how to play together, and I don't like to see that. The Bucks, 6-10. I'll say that. I have to check the record. I think they have like 3 wins though. Hold on. 3-1 is tough to just. No, I can put them that high. 3-1 is pretty darn good, and Giannis has looked like an MVP front runner that nobody gives a shit about. Like, I saw an MVP ladder that had Shea. It had like Maxey, and it had Vic, and I'm like, where the hell's the guy that's averaging like 35 and 14 and 7, and he's putting up like 31 minutes a game, and he's averaging 30 and double-digit rebounds and 7 assists. He casually makes awesome passes. Him and Miles Turner have looked really well together. Again, remember how I said I like to give my flowers and tip my cap to the guys that don't always get the big shine. Like, yeah, Giannis is an MVP candidate as per usual. But let me tell you, man, Ryan Rollins looks like a steal. He had 20 last night, I believe. Ryan Rollins has had some big flashes, and I wasn't sure about him being a feature player in this lineup going into the season. Through 4 games, he's looked better than Kevin Porter could have imagined. He looks like their starting point guard, and he's looked just really damn good. He plays good defense. He fits what they need. He looks like a decent player that they can kind of hold on to. It looks like they've kind of found a diamond in the rough. Maybe not a diamond, because a diamond in the rough is finding Giannis at pick 28 or whatever the fuck, right? That's a diamond in the rough. I think it was like 15, right? That's a diamond in the rough. Or finding Chris Middleton as a UDFA, or yeah, something like that. It was just non-tendered by the Pistons, whatever. That's a diamond in the rough. You found, like, I don't know, like a nugget of gold in like a stream, It's not going to make you crazy rich, but you're like, damn, I just came up. That's what Ryan Rollins is. You just came up a good starting caliber guard that plays well next to Giannis. Tip my cap to the young Ryan Rollins. This is a mid team. They're fun defensively. Like, defensively, they clamp, but offensively, they can be a bit of an eyesore at times. The Rockets don't have a point guard, and we know that. We came into the year knowing that because Fred blew his knee out, right? That changed a lot of things. But, like, we didn't know where the playmaking was going to come from without Freddie. We still don't know. I don't know. They look good against the Raptors. The Raptors are bad, though, so I don't know. KD looked fantastic. But at the same time, I don't know. Their offense doesn't give me a ton of confidence. It's just stagnant. Alp's really good. KD's really good. They have individually really good players. But again, it looks like a team that just doesn't have that camaraderie, that sense of, like, knowing where the guy's going to be. Stuff like that. Basic things like that are just, I don't know, kind of tough to learn this early in the season. Do I think the Rockets are going to be a bad team all year? No. I think they're probably going to be a top 5 seed. Just for right now, it's like, well, they just kind of look like they're not used to playing together. And that's probably the truth. Cleveland, this is not for you. They just dropped the game to the Celtics. I don't know. They're a tough team to gauge because they don't have Darius Garland. That's like a big feature of their offense. They don't have as many on-ball, with the ball playmakers without Darius Garland. Donovan Mitchell was out there, but he left for a while. And, like, man, I made a video in the offseason where I said of a few players that I didn't stop believing in. Some guys that just haven't been really that good that I don't lose faith in. And Craig Porter was on that list. Craig Porter might be ass. I don't know. I don't know what he does well. I really like, what's his name, the wing they got that's been playing really good defense. 1 second. His name is Jalen Tyson is who I was thinking of. He plays hard, plays really good defense. Not really good defense. He just plays hard. But, like, there's a bunch of guys. They're missing a bunch of guys. I think Strus is still out. Garland's out. Like, they're missing guys. Evan Mobley, his trainer wants him to get more shots up late. And then I watch Evan Mobley, and I still think to myself, this guy's just too stiff to be a scorer. He doesn't have any fluidity in how he moves. His jump shot's very rigid, is how I'll describe it. He gets to the free throw line, he raises up, and he had a beautiful play over Derek White to start the game yesterday, where he just raised up and banked one in at around like in the block area. But you watch him try to make plays against defenders that aren't guards or people that are too slow to guard him. Like they put Minot on him, and Minot did a really good job on Mobley. It's Josh Minot. You know, it's definitely like I could see him being a good player, but at the same time, he doesn't have the fluidity or the strength or even the skill set to have multiple moves down. I don't know what his go-to is. When they're down 2 with a minute left and they need him to go get a bucket to tie the game up, where's he going to go? What move is he going to rely on? You know, I don't know. How is he going to create separation? How's he going to raise up over a defender that's not 6'2"? You know, I don't know. I like Evan Mobley a lot. I think he's one of the best power forwards in basketball, if not the second best, because Giannis is the best, right? But at the same time, I don't think he has fluidity or any type of like bag to really be a self-creator. I really like Evan Mobley. I'm just not exactly sure what his trainer's talking about. He needs to get the ball late. When we watch him get the ball late and he doesn't know what to do with it. The Hornets should get their own tier called Fun Mid. I'm just going to put them in slow start, but they've been fun mid, right? I'm not going to sit here and say that LaMelo Ball's an MVP candidate, nothing like that. But Con Kneppel, I didn't bury him in my last video, but I did say, like, he's starting off a little slow. He's picked it up. Con Kneppel has looked pretty darn good. He's making his shots. He's shooting like over 50% from the field. He's looked pretty sharp, right? But, like, it's a decent roster. Brandon Miller has missed time already. That happens every year, it seems. I like their center rotation. I like Kalkbrenner. He's a good physical big man down low. He rebounds well. But also you can back him up with Diabate, who's shown flashes as well. I think there's a lot to like about this Charlotte Hornets team. I don't think they're a very great team at the moment. Like Colin Sexton is getting to the basket and finishing around the rim like a madman. I've been a fan of Colin Sexton for years now. Years. I've been a Colin Sexton guy. The last 2 years I've said Colin Sexton was underrated. I'm glad Charlotte Hornets fans are getting kind of a fun player to watch. He gets to the basket, he gets downhill, and he finishes really well. I like Colin Sexton. I just think the Hornets are a fun mid team. The Pistons are a tough one. They're going to go in mid because they are a decent team. Not horrific, I'll say. But at the same time, there's like, again, another team where it's like there's 3 passable players on this roster. Tobias Harris has started off very rough, right? After that, it's like Cade's been fine. Ron Holland has been great. Not great, but better than I anticipated. Wasn't exactly sure what we were going to get from him this year. Ron Holland has been pretty darn good for what I expected, especially defensively. He's picking pockets, right? I like how this team is youthful, but without Jaden Ivey, still, I'm just like, where's it going to come from? Cade's turning the ball over a ton still. It's not his fault. He's in the 100th percentile in usage, I think. I can check that. Nah, he's only in like the 68th percentile, as you can see right there. But like, he's still turning the ball over a good amount. But there's not many other playmakers on the Detroit Pistons at the moment. I don't mind how they look. Like I said, I love the young Ron Holland and how he's played so far. But overall, they're just kind of like, okay, they're fine. Memphis is another team like Charlotte where I'm going to just describe them as fun mid. The ball's in Ja Morant's hands a lot more. Thank you, Coach Isalo. I think that's how you pronounce it. For getting the ball in Ja Morant's hands more. He needs to be their playmaker. He needs to be the best player on the court whenever he's on the court for the Grizzlies. And he's been that to start the year. You know, last night he had a great game. He had like 28 and some change. He had a nice, but he had the shot to take the lead. I believe it was a floater in the lane. I really like Ja Morant a ton. He's maybe my favorite, one of my favorite players in the league to watch for sure. And their new coach has given me some reason to want to watch that. I don't mind the Grizzlies. I don't think they're a good team again, but at the same time, I think they're fun. And fun mid has value. Portland, I'm putting in the 6 to 10 range. I like the steps they've taken. Denny Avdia has become a legit good scorer. He's averaging over 20 a game so far through the first 5, which has me excited because I've been waiting for a Denny breakout for the last like 5 years now. so it's finally maybe becoming something. Like Jeremy Grant's had a couple of solid games in there. Drew Holiday had a 30-piece basically last night. Drew Holiday, I thought he was cooked last year. He had a pretty damn good game. They're not as strong defensively as I wanted them to be. I wanted them to be more of a tough defensive team, but they have been just good regardless. I think, I mean, a lot of people bandwagon them jumped on the bandwagon before the season started, and I was one of them. Nothing's changed. I wanted to see more Shaedon. Shaedon has been active, but I don't know. It's just he's not the leading scorer that I expected. I thought he'd be the explosive scorer. Instead, Denny's had some really decent games. And then Kling anchoring the paint. Love me some Donovan Clingan. Tumani's been pretty darn good too. Matisse Thybulle producing good minutes. I mean, they're dedicated to that grind to being a good defensive team. I just think there's more that I want from their defense. But overall, with the way they've been playing, it's fine anyways, dude. They're good. This is a hard team to gauge in the Utah Jazz. I'm going to put them in eyesore. They've started off with 3 of their first 4 being home games, I believe. And while that doesn't indicate that they're going to be some major fall off, I don't think they're as good as they are. I like Lauri Markkanen. They were talking about, I saw on Twitter, a Jazz fan was like, is Lauri top 50 all time in Jazz history? He's top 6, like quite easily. I'd think the top 5 is that one guy, the other guy, Adrian Dantley, Donovan Mitchell, Lauri Markkanen, and fucking Greg Ostertag. I don't know, dude. But I think Lauri Markkanen's already in there. They're not a bad team. Keontae George has had some fun games. Keontae George is a fun little scorer as a player. I don't think they're a great team, but they could go up a row, and I could put them in slow start. But they're a team that I was just like, they're going to be at the bottom of the conference. They haven't been. They haven't been a pushover, and that's kind of what I like to see out of them. No, this is an eyesore that has wins. The Kings are an eyesore that, like, I didn't expect to be good, but they're just an eyesore all around. I don't know where the defense is going to come from here. Who the hell is clamping up on this team? I don't know. Modest Buzelis maybe put up the easiest, like, almost 30 ball I've ever seen. It was embarrassing. Ayo Dosunmu was pushing people around. I felt bad for Devin Carter, because Devin Carter has been a very solid defender. He had a series last night against the Bulls where he blocked a Modest Buzelis jump shot in the mid-range. Modest tried to post him up and then go over the top. Carter blocked it, and the ball ended up right in Josh Giddey's hands at the end of the shot clock from like 30 feet out. Devin Carter jumps, contests it, barely misses blocking Giddey's shot. Giddey banks it in anyways, and of course the Bulls go on to win. If you see Giddey bank in that shot in the replay, you see Devin Carter after the shot banks in just go, oh my God. Like, he puts his hand on his head like, get the fuck out of here. Talking a lot about Devin Carter. It's because he's like one of 2 guys that actually hustles on that team. Keon Ellis is in there. Sabonis has been That's kind of how I felt about Sabonis. His whole career, though, is just He's fine. I don't know. Dennis Schroeder, leading guard. He's averaging like 7+ assists. That's something. Atlanta, this is a slow start of all the slow starts. Listen. So, I believed in Atlanta before the season. I did, but I've been conned before. So I was a little bit more pessimistic than a lot of people. And I remember 2 Hawks fans in specific jumped into my comments and started saying that, like, your ratings stink, your predictions stink because you don't have the Hawks high enough. I'm curious to see what the fuck they have to say today. I don't care what they have to say, actually, to be honest with you, but the team is mid as shit. They're hard to watch. They have so much talent, but Dyson Daniels, what do you do? What do you do? I thought there was a developing offensive bag there. No, he still can't shoot. He still can't knock down a jumper consistently. He still can't create off the dribble. I don't know what Dyson Daniels does. He just finessed $100 million like 2 weeks ago. I don't know. The Hawks have been nothing but frustrating for me. Kristaps Porzingis, clap it up for him, though. He's been good despite having heart issues. That's scary. I don't know. On to the next one. The Thunder. They are the easiest. They're the unbeaten. This is probably going to be your set 5 unless I feel like dancing somebody around. But right now, yeah, they've looked great. The Thunder have looked like the defending champs, even though without J-Dub, they've been a little bit more stagnant offensively. But it's because without J-Dub, you're relying on, like, Aaron Wiggins to be your second best perimeter shot maker. Chet's good, but I don't know. Aaron Wiggins has been fantastic, though. I love me some Aaron Wiggins. He won them that last game. He had a nice couple of plays to end the game there, including a nice play where Shea got doubled. Aaron Wiggins caught it, drove right to the middle, and kicked out for an easy 3-2. Not Lou, it was somebody else, but it was a great play regardless. I think that the Thunder are still the championship favorites for a reason. Moving on to the Washington Wizards, who've been mid, but fun mid. Again, they're fun mid. Alex Sarr has been like a feature player, and I don't mind that. I really love Alex Sarr. I've said it before. I think he could be Evan Mobley-esque. But, like, there's contributors that I didn't think were coming. Keyshawn George has had a couple of big games. I didn't think Keyshawn George was ever going to be that good offensively. He's turned around and become a positive somehow, right? There's other players on it. McCollum, Middleton have been the vets that they've needed. I don't think they're a good team, but I also don't think that they're dog shit. Theoretically, I can move them down, but I don't view them as an eyesore. I don't, they're not a hard team to watch for me. The Magic, some mid. They're slow. They're not moving as much as they need to. They're stagnant offensively. Paolo can't make a jump shot. They are paying him, but he can't make a jump shot. It looks ugly still. Desmond Bane's had some rough shooting nights, but like even then, man, Paolo has just not been as good as I've needed, as good as they've needed. He hasn't taken that leap that you expect. His jump shooting is still very rough to watch. Franz is taking more threes, and I don't mind that. At least he's trying, right? But the rest of the roster is just, I don't know. I love Tristan da Silva. I said I like giving flowers to random players that have played relatively well. Here you go, Tristan da Silva. Here's your flowers. You've played very well. The Pacers haven't won a game. I don't think. They suck. They suck bad. Isaiah Jackson is still starting for Lord knows what reason. There can't be anything like, I don't think there's anything better on their bench. I don't think magically they're going to sub in, somebody else, and it's just going to make them a good team again. But by God, are they hard to watch. I try my best almost not to, except for when Mathurin was healthy. When Mathurin was healthy, I love me some Ben Mathurin, but the rest of the roster is just so dinged up and hurt right now. I don't really want to watch without Halliburton. Timberwolves are mid. Anthony Edwards is hurt, and they're relying on a bunch of other creators. I have a red spot on my elbow. Hello, am I okay? I have no idea. Anthony Edwards being hurt, though. I keep moving the mouse. Stop doing that. Anthony Edwards being hurt definitely hurts. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It's a good enough team where I think they'll figure it out. I've seen Timberwolves fans want Chris Finch fired. We are 5 games in, and people are calling for the head of their head coach. I think there's one team that could do it, and it's the team that's moving around right now. They could, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. I think there's another team that could justify it too. That's also just moving around like a ghost. The Heat are probably going to end up getting moved up. I'm losing it down here. Timberwolves absolutely are unfun to watch without Anthony Edwards, though, and they still don't have a good playmaker because Mike Conley's 50. So that's about it. Pelicans are trash. They are hard to watch, awful built. They got 40 balled the other night, basically. I think that might have been, I don't remember who did that. They got 50'd. And they look sorry. Zion lost weight. It doesn't fucking matter because the team sucks. I feel bad for, Pelicans fans because they're worse. They're a bottom 3 team in basketball. The bottom 3 is Nets, Pelicans, Pacers, record-wise, I believe, are pretty close to it. And none of them are even fun to watch. There's fun bad. None of these teams fit the category of fun bad. They're just bad, especially the Pelicans. They don't have their own first-round pick, and I think they traded another first-round pick for Derek fucking Queen, who, again, still isn't even good enough to start over Eve. I don't know. I could keep going about the Pelicans, but they've just looked really bad. And I think Pelicans fans will agree their teams looked really, really bad. Now I have to adjust it, though, because I got top 5 up top, but I need 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Cleveland's going to move up because they've been playing really well. Miami's got to move up, too, because they've also been playing really well. I think this is probably the way the rankings are going to look. Did I put my own Celtics team a little bit too high? Maybe. Oh, well, they're mid. You know it. I know it. We all know it. The Celtics are mid. If you've enjoyed this video, if you agree, disagree, whatever the hell you feel, like, subscribe. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to go catch a game. See you guys in the next one.